Now let me talk about the devices and techniques Shakespeare uses in writing Sonnet 18. What is a sonnet? A sonnet is a 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter with its own rhyme schemes and its own modes of logical and emotional organization. We have two kinds of sonnets, the Italian sonnets and the English sonnets. Now let's look at the rhyme scheme of an Italian sonnet. Italian sonnet, the rhyme scheme of Italian sonnet is ABBA, ABBA, CD, CD, CD. ABBA, ABBA, the first 8 lines we call octave, and the next 6 lines we call sextant. And between octave and sextant we have a term, a logical or emotional or semantic term. And in the octave we have 2 quadrants, ABBA, ABBA, 2 quadrants. And the rhyme scheme for the sextant is variable. Sometimes it is CD, 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 and sometimes it is CDE, CDE. In terms of English sonnet, the rhyme scheme is different. The rhyme scheme of an English sonnet is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, G, G. AB, AB, first quadrant. CD, CD, second quadrant. EF, EF, third quadrant. And finally, GG, we have a concluding couplet. And the logical or emotional term occurs at the beginning of the 13th line rather than at the beginning of the 9th line, as in Italian sonnet. But Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 follows the format of the English sonnet, 3 quatrains and a couplet. And its rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, G, G. But the rhetorical logic of the poem follows a formula similar to an Italian sonnet. There is an octave plus a sextant. The octave presents the speaker's dilemma. Should he compare the young man to a summer's day? On the surface, it is very reasonable for the speaker to do so because summer is the best season. So summertime is the best of all things to be compared to. But the rest of the octave goes on to describe how the comparison is inadequate, not a desirable comparison. Summertime, especially in England, can be very windy, as we all know. And thus, shake the darling buds of May, the new buds of May. The sun, the eye of heaven, is sometimes too intense, too strong, or obscured by clouds. His gold complexion dimmed, right? And additionally, summer has to come to its quick end in England, thus being too easy, a victim of time. Like summer, each thing of beauty must decline, either by unforeseen events or by natural degenerative processes, and that is by accident or in natural course. It seems therefore that comparing the youth to a summer's day is not such a great idea. And in the sextet of the sonnet, which is introduced by the but of line 9, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. The but invites the turn, the shift in this poem. So the sextet indicates a shift, a change in argument. Unlike summer, the beauty of the youth will never fade or depart. One of the most striking elements of the sextet is that it unfolds like a mystery. If all things must eventually be time's victim, how is it possible that the youth can define time to possess his beauty eternally? The answer, of course, lies not in anything that youth does, but in the possibility that poetry, which praises the youth, can define time and even death. In other words, if the youth's summer is caught and preserved in poetry, the youth becomes immortal. So the poem does contain promise and the possibility that the youth will live forever, that he will grow in eternal limes to time. But the final couplet is ambiguous, as I've mentioned. The initial sense is that the lines of the poem will live eternally, will exist until doomsday. The youth will be triumphantly immortalized. The monosyllabic words emphasizes this finality and performance, while the use of anaphora, or the repetition of words at the beginning of successive phrases, restates and reinforces the promise of immortality. But this can happen only as man can breathe or eyes can see. Just as Helen Wanderer points out in his book, that in the couplet, the speaker admits that art has human perpetuity rather than transcendent eternity.